Data, data, data. I can't make bricks without clay. Any guesses who said this? I'll give you a hint. It wasn't a famous tech CEO or a data analyst. The person who said this lived long before tech companies even existed. But I bet you've still heard of him. This line was said by Sherlock Holmes, the famous detective created by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. What Doyle meant was that Holmes couldn't draw any conclusions, which would be the bricks he mentioned, without data, or the clay. You're probably not here to become a world-famous detective, but data is still the building block that you'll use for everything you do in your new data analyst career. Sherlock Holmes would agree. By starting this program, you've shown that you and Sherlock Holmes have something in common. You both have an interest in learning more. That's one of the most important qualities that data analysts can have. Now, there are a bunch of different ways to explore data, but one of the great things about data analytics is that you can often learn how you want, when you want. That might mean doing your own research, talking with people in the industry, or taking online courses. With that said, welcome to your first course. This is your introduction to the wonderful world of data analytics. Since data analytics is the science of data, you'll use this course to begin to learn all about data. Data is basically a collection of facts or information, and through analysis, you'll learn how to use the data to draw conclusions and make predictions and decisions. Personally, I didn't jump right into the data analytics field. I thought data analysis was for computer engineers. Instead, I started off with dreams of working in finance. Once I got through an internship, though, I realized it wasn't the career path I wanted to take. I started to learn about financial planning and analysis and all of the work finance analysts were doing with data. I realized that finance analysts are really just data analysts working in a finance department. These analysts were helping to guide business decisions by knowing how to use data. It was then I realized how powerful data is, and I started to embrace it. Soon enough, I realized I could do this data analysis myself. Data analytics is a big open world of opportunity. There are so many areas your analysis skills can be applied, and in all kinds of different ways. If you're new to this world, you'll learn how to identify which path and industry might suit your skills and your interests the best. And for those of you who already have some experience, we'll help you open doors to new and exciting opportunities. One of the skills you'll gain from the program is how to follow the best practices that analysts use to help make data-driven decisions. Computers are one part of the process, but analysts rely on so much more to make decisions. That's why learning how to think analytically and using your other skills and traits on the job will make your work easier. I know you already know how to make good decisions. You chose to be here after all. In this first course, you'll learn more about each phase of the data analysis process. Ask, prepare, process, analyze, share, and act. As a data analyst, you'll go through these steps as you use data to inform your decisions. Eventually, you'll see how this program itself is, in a way, its own version of this process. While I know you'll enjoy watching these videos, your trip through the first course will include a whole lot more. Other videos will take the form of vignettes where you'll learn from data analytics professionals who are already established in their careers. They'll offer words of wisdom as well as tales of their own experiences, starting off on their career path. You'll start your own data journal that will help you keep track of what you've learned throughout the course. You'll also add your own thoughts about what you're learning as well throughout the program. You'll read up on how to navigate this program in the world of data analytics. You'll complete activities, including some that will help you get in the mindset of a data analyst. Along the way, you'll also have the chance to connect with your fellow learners. Discussion prompts will give you a chance to share your thoughts and at the same time, see what your peers think about all that you're learning. These prompts will help you build a community support system to use throughout the program. All right, enough talking. Let's get started on this exciting path. Your next step awaits. I'm not exaggerating when I say every goal and success that my team and I have achieved couldn't have been done without data. Here at Google, all of our products are built on data and data-driven decision-making. From concept to development to launch, we're using data to figure out the best way forward. And we're not alone. Countless other organizations also see the incredible value in data, and of course, the data analysts who help them make use of it. So, we know data opens up a lot of opportunities. But to help you wrap your head around all the ways you can actually use data, let's go over a few examples from everyday life. You might not realize it, but people analyze data all the time. For instance, I'm a morning person. A long time ago, I realized that I'm happier and more productive if I get to bed early and wake up early. I came to this conclusion after noticing a pattern in my day-to-day experiences. When I got 7 hours of sleep and woke up at 6:30, I was the most successful. So I thought about the relationship between this pattern and my daily life. And I predicted that early to bed, early to rise would be the right choice for me. And I'm definitely my best self when I wake up bright and early. I bet you've identified patterns and relationships in your life too. Maybe about your own sleep cycle, or how you feel after eating certain foods, or what time of day you like to work out. All of these are great examples of real-life patterns and relationships that you can use to make predictions about the right actions to take. And that is a huge part of data analysis right there. Now, let's put this process into a business setting. You may remember from an earlier video that there's a ton of data out there. And every minute of every hour of every day, more data is being created. Businesses need a way to control all that data so they can use it to improve processes, identify opportunities and trends, launch new products, serve customers, and make thoughtful decisions. For businesses to be on top of the competition, they need to be on top of their data. That's why these companies hire data analysts to control the waves of data they collect every day, make sense of it, and then draw conclusions or make predictions. This is the process of turning data into insights, and it's how analysts help businesses put all their data to good use. This is actually a good way to think about analysis, turning data into insights. As a reminder, the more detailed definition you learned earlier is that data analysis is the collection, transformation, and organization of data in order to draw conclusions, make predictions, and drive informed decision-making. So after analysts have created insights from data, what happens? Well, a lot. Those insights are shared with others, decisions are made, and businesses take action. And here's where it can get really exciting. Data analytics can help organizations completely rethink something they do or point them in a totally new direction. For example, maybe data leads them to a new product or unique service, or maybe it helps them find a new way to deliver an incredible customer experience. It's these kinds of aha moments that can help businesses reach another level. And that makes data analysts vital to any business. Now that you know more of the amazing ways data is being used every day, you can see why data analysts are in such high demand. We'll continue exploring how analysts can transform data into insights that lead to action. And before you know it, you'll be ready to help any organization find new and exciting ways to transform their data. To put it simply, an ecosystem is a group of elements that interact with one another. Ecosystems can be large, like the jungle in a tropical rainforest or the Australian outback, or tiny, like tadpoles in a puddle or bacteria on your skin. And just like the kangaroos and koala bears in the Australian outback, data lives inside its own ecosystem too. Data ecosystems are made up of various elements that interact with one another in order to produce, manage, store, organize, analyze, and share data. These elements include hardware and software tools and the people who use them, people like you. Data can also be found in something called the cloud. The cloud is a place to keep data online rather than on a computer hard drive. So instead of storing data somewhere inside your organization's network, that data is accessed over the internet. So the cloud is just a term we use to describe the virtual location. The cloud plays a big part in the data ecosystem. And as a data analyst, it's your job to harness the power of that data ecosystem. Find the right information and provide the team with analysis that helps them make smart decisions. For example, you could tap into your retail store's database, which is an ecosystem filled with customer names, addresses, previous purchase, and customer reviews. As a data analyst, you could use this information to predict what these customers will buy in the future and make sure the store has the products in stock when they're needed. As another example, let's think about a data ecosystem used by a human resources department. This ecosystem would include information like postings from job websites, stats on the current labor market, employment rates, and social media data on prospective employees. A data analyst could use this information to help their team recruit new workers and improve employee engagement and retention rates. But data ecosystems aren't just for stores and offices, they work on farms too. Agricultural companies regularly use data ecosystems that include information, including geological patterns and weather movements. Data analysts can use this data to help farmers predict crop yields. Some data analysts are even using data ecosystems to save real environmental ecosystems. At the Scripps Institution of Oceanography, coral reefs all over the world are monitored digitally so they can see how organisms change over time, track their growth, and measure any increases or declines in individual colonies. The possibilities are endless. Okay, now let's talk about some common misconceptions you might come across. First is the difference between data scientists and data analysts. It's easy to confuse the two, but what they do is actually very different. Data science is defined as creating new ways of modeling and understanding the unknown by using raw data. Here's a good way to think about it. Data scientists create new questions using data, while analysts find answers to existing questions by creating insights from data sources. There are also many words and phrases you'll hear throughout this course that are easy to get mixed up. For example, data analysis and data analytics sound the same, but they're actually very different things. Let's start with analysis. You've already learned that data analysis is the collection, transformation, and organization of data in order to draw conclusions, make predictions, and drive informed decision-making. Data analytics, in the simplest terms, is the science of data. It's a very broad concept that encompasses everything from the job of managing and using data to the tools and methods that data workers use each and every day. So when you think about data, data analysis, and the data ecosystem, it's important to understand that all of these things fit under the data analytics umbrella. All right, now that you know a little more about the data ecosystem and the differences between data analysis and data analytics, you're ready to explore how data is used to make effective decisions. You'll get to see data-driven decision-making in action. So far, you've discovered that there are many different ways data can be used. In our everyday lives, we use data when we wear a fitness tracker or read product reviews to make a purchase decision. And in business, we use data to learn more about our customers, improve processes, and help employees do their jobs more effectively. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. One of the most powerful ways you can put data to work is with data-driven decision-making. Data-driven decision-making is defined as using facts to guide business strategy. Organizations in many different industries are empowered to make better data-driven decisions by data analysts all the time. The first step in data-driven decision-making is figuring out the business need. Usually, this is a problem that needs to be solved. For example, a problem could be a new company needing to establish better brand recognition so it can compete with bigger, more well-known competitors. Or maybe an organization wants to improve a product and needs to figure out how to source parts from a more sustainable or ethically responsible supplier. Or it could be a business trying to solve the problem of unhappy employees, low levels of engagement, satisfaction, and retention. Whatever the problem is, once it's defined, a data analyst finds data, analyzes it, and uses it to uncover trends, patterns, and relationships. Sometimes the data-driven strategy will build on what's worked in the past. Other times, it can guide a business to branch out in a whole new direction. Let's look at a real-world example. Think about a music or movie streaming service. How do these companies know what people want to watch or listen to, and how do they provide it? Well, using data-driven decision-making, they gather information about what their customers are currently listening to, analyze it, then use the insights they've gained to make suggestions for things people will most likely enjoy in the future. This keeps customers happy and coming back for more, which in turn means more revenue for the company. Another example of data-driven decision-making can be seen in the rise of e-commerce. It wasn't long ago that most purchases were made in a physical store, but the data showed people's preferences were changing. So a lot of companies created entirely new business models that removed the physical store and let people shop right from their computers or mobile phones, with products delivered right to their doorstep. In fact, data-driven decision-making can be so powerful, it can make entire business methods obsolete. For example, data help companies completely move away from corded phones and replace them with mobile phones. By ensuring that data is built into every business strategy, data analysts play a critical role in their company's success. But it's important to note that no matter how valuable data-driven decision-making is, data alone will never be as powerful as data combined with human experience, observation, and sometimes even intuition. To get the most out of data-driven decision-making, it's important to include insights from people who are familiar with the business problem. These people are called subject matter experts, and they have the ability to look at the results of data analysis and identify any inconsistencies, make sense of gray areas, and eventually validate choices being made. Organizations that work this way put data at the heart of every business strategy, but also benefit from the insights of their people. It's a win-win. As a data analyst, you play a key role in empowering these organizations to make data-driven decisions, which is why it's so important for you to understand how data plays a part in the decision-making process. Congratulations on finishing this video from the Google Data Analytics Certificate. Access the full experience, including job search help, and start to earn the official certificate by clicking the icon or the link in the description. Watch the next video in the course by clicking here, and subscribe to our channel for more from upcoming Google Career certificates.